Welcome back to the Holy Spirit verse by verse. Today we are in Acts 8, verses 14 through 20. After the execution of Stephen that we studied in Acts 7, the persecution that came on the church caused the saints of the church to be scattered out from Jerusalem. The first mission point about which Luke informs us is in the region of Samaria. The prophet Philip, who was one of the 7 men chosen back in Acts 6, began preaching the gospel in Samaria and was able to win some converts to the faith. Included in that number of converts was a local magician named Simon, who was amazed at the miracles and signs which Philip was doing. Upon hearing that the gospel had taken root in Samaria, the apostles dispatched Peter and John to Samaria to ensure the presence of the Holy Spirit's work among these new Christians. Once Peter and John arrived in Samaria, they laid their hands on the saints and caused the Holy Spirit to come upon them. This text is perhaps second only to Acts 2 in importance in describing the coming of the Holy Spirit on the early church, the early saints. Even given its importance, very few commentators would argue against the position that Peter's and John's purpose in going to Samaria was to impart the Spirit's prophetic powers to the saints of that region. That much of the meaning of this text is clear to just about everybody. However, the ramifications of that admission are more far-reaching than many would like to admit. 5 of the most important word pictures about the work of the Holy Spirit in the New Testament are included in this very text. Within these verses, the Holy Spirit is given, he is received, he falls upon individuals, he is given by the laying on of hands, and he is referred to as the gift of God. Our front to back approach in this study has already examined each one of these word pictures in previous verses. And we will see them again as we continue our orderly examination of the biblical text. Important, at the very least, is the fact that Acts 8 establishes by its inclusion of each of these phrases that each of them can refer to the prophetic aspects of the Holy Spirit's work. That fact is a problem for the personal indwelling view. That view needs at least some of these phrases, and in truth, it needs each of these phrases to exclude definitively the possibility of referring to the Holy Spirit's prophetic work. And they don't. This text connects all 5 important Bible phrases directly to the Spirit's prophetic work. Further, because so many significant descriptive phrases about the Spirit's work are grouped together in one text, one might imagine this text would provide clarity about his work. Yet it is worth noting that instead of seeing in Acts 8 a passage from which a cohesive doctrine of the Spirit's work can be drawn, commentators of the non-prophetic ordinary indwelling view are forced to explain how the usage of these phrases in Acts 8 should not be taken as a precedence from which other verses can be understood. That is a significant expositional problem, and we will discuss that more fully in the next episode.